You're watching Seven Rivers Sports here on KQEG. I'm your host, Terry Erickson. Each week, an inside look into sports, into wellness, and into fitness. We hope you'll be inspired by some of the people you meet on the show, like today, when we have the spotlight on Luther High School Boys Basketball. My friend, legendary coach Brad Schaper, and two of his senior leaders, Ben Kennedy and Sam Babinec. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Erickson. It's great to be here.
I've always enjoyed having you on the show, and you're a good friend, as you well know. But in all my years of watching games at Luther, officiating, broadcasting, and we all feel that way here at the station, there seems to be something special about Luther. But let's start with the excitement around basketball. Not always reflective in the wins and losses. I'm not talking about that, but there's been a lot of excitement. I see it in Luther Night Nation, the group of students and the fans, and it's a pleasant culture. How did that materialize?
Well, Terry, playing basketball at Luther High School is a great privilege that both of these gentlemen have played for 3 years, and playing basketball at Luther is a ton of fun. And we have a student body that appreciates the game, and it's taken some hard work. But I'm going to tell you, as soon as you put a decent product on the floor, the kids want to come out, and it's a big deal to come to games. It's a big deal to be part of Night Nation. But it comes back to if the kids are going to put a good product on the floor. And one of our goals this season was to bring our student base back. And we felt we've done that. And if you've ever been to a game at Luther, like I know you have, it is an event to watch. It's a lot of fun. Is.
And you even treat the officials nicely, which I appreciate, of course.
Well, our athletic director, Joe Babinec, does a great job with that. And he makes sure that you guys are well taken care of, and you do a great job.
There's a book that talks about the culture of a program begins in the locker room and in the classroom. The culture at Luther, the Christ-centered education, which we're going to talk about throughout the broadcast, it makes it kind of a unique, special culture with high expectations for guys like you, Ben Kennedy. Talk about that.
Luther's really just a great place to go learn, and you keep Christ in everything that we do. It's a strong message, even in the classroom, and especially with our basketball team. Say a prayer before every game, and Coach here does a great job letting us know that basketball is small in the scheme of things, but God has given us the gifts to play basketball, so we use them best we can.
On the wall, on behind one of the baskets, there's a quote. I think it's in Corinthians. Says, "Whatever you do in this world," I'm paraphrasing, "you do for the glory of God." Which my mom, by the way, had in her kitchen, and she talked about that all the time. Passed away a few years ago, but that was how she sort of centered her life, and that's an important biblical verse. How does that relate to you, Sam Babinec?
Relates in everything you do. I mean, you want to do good and work hard in life to praise God and do the gifts He gives you. You want to fulfill them to just show Him that you're appreciating the gifts.
And it shows in a variety of ways. Some intangible, some you can see in scoring and so on. But the intangible things are what always intrigues me. The hustle, the effort, how you treat others, how you treat officials, how you react to when a sub comes in for you, all those intangibles, which is part of those two mission statements, the biblical verses and the culture of the Luther Knights. How do you, some people talk about that, Coach, but they don't really display it.
I think Ben did a great job explaining a little bit of that. He said there's something more to who we are. There's something more than what we are. We talk about the kids, our last game shouldn't define us, shouldn't be the last thing that we're about. We always want to strive to do more. We want to strive to be better, whether that's on the floor or off the floor. And we always talk about giving glory to God for what He's done for us. And you're right, that's seen in tangible things, but there are little things too. Our assistant coach, Paul Beckendorf, tells these kids a lot, you can't be a different person on the floor than you are in the classroom. We really feel that our kids' character starts in the classroom. And if they can't do it in the classroom, well, they're certainly not going to be able to do it on the floor either. So we really want to proclaim using those gifts and abilities as best as they possibly can for a greater good.
A gift as a student and a gift as an athlete. Now, with that gift, you're on a platform. Tony Dungy talks about this a lot. You're on a platform. People are looking up at you. You have been given something, and not everybody appreciates that. Now, you have young people coming to those games and even your peers. How do you display that as a student and an athlete, knowing that you're on a platform, Ben?
Well, during the game, you always have kids watching your body language, and personally, myself, that's one of the things I struggle with, is just displaying the best body language I can, because those kids are seeing you as role models, and they want to go out there eventually one day and play. So you have to display the best body language to your teammates, and just like everything you said, when you get subbed out of the game, the hustle you show and everything, you have to, even if you get frustrated, you have to try to show the best body language you can.
Competitive athletes, and I was one decades ago, I had the same struggle with my body language because I was a huge competitor, fierce competitor. And so those are hard to sort of restrain. There's no question about it. But you're conscious of it, and the expectations are there, and it's not always easy. You know, Villanova, who won the national championship last year, has what's called a character chart that an assistant keeps, and where they chart like how you react to turnovers, how you react to bad calls. Are you conscious of that?
Yeah, I try to be. Sometimes I definitely let my frustration get the best of me during games, but coach is always good at, whenever he sees me getting a little frustrated, takes me out for 30 seconds and just talks to me, and then I'm good to go right back in. So he does a great job of keeping me calm.
So, Coach, I noticed that too, and sort of a twofold question. I noticed when you recognize that, because we've broadcast a lot of your games, and I noticed that when things don't go particularly your way, because there are bad things that happen, and sometimes it's officiating, and sometimes it's just your players. You've kept your poise. I mean, you demonstrate poise and professionalism. That's not easy to do, because you're a competitor too.
I think I need to do a lot better job at that. I strive for that. I'll just, backing up the train, these two athletes are just phenomenal. And both of these athletes, they have an opportunity to play at the next level. And Ben and I we talk nightly about body language. And they both know that there's something more than just what we've got here. I think coaching is teaching, and you know that, Terry. You've been in the business for a long time. And these guys are looking at you, just like the little ones you just said, we're looking at them. And if you're showing to them that you're not in control and you can't handle the moment, well, then why should they? So I think that they have to look at me and see that everything's going to be okay. And what a great job both of these guys have done this year, just keeping their composure and just keeping our team moving forward.
You know, there's a lot of people out there that are labeled as coaches, but very few of them, let me correct that, not all of them actually teach the game. Teaching and coaching, two different things. Would you agree?
I would agree with that in one aspect. You need a special skill set, I think, for both of them. But I think there's a lot of similarities, and it's about handling people. Whether it's me in my classroom trying to get the very best out of my kids, or whether it's trying to get the very best out of my players. I think, I really believe that good coaching is good teaching, and good teaching is good coaching.
Sam, I've always admired how you play the game. You do what it says in the Bible about going the extra mile in the book of Proverbs. Going the extra mile. Your hustle, your effort is never questionable. Is that an expectation that your family has for you, or is that just who you are?
I mean, expectations for my family, yeah. My family, my coach, my team. I mean, you have to put in the extra effort to show the other guys and to show them you're willing to do whatever you can to put the team before yourself.
And so are you conscious of that all the time? Because you seem to display that, although you're gifted. I mean, you're a gifted shooter. You're gifted off the dribble by breaking teams down and going to the basket. You have incredible speed, and you have an incredible innate knowledge of the game. You're smart from the neck up.
Yeah, I mean, playing for 8-10 years in competitive basketball really helps it. I mean, when I was younger, playing point guard, and now going to two guard, it kind of switched over to so I can still pass, shoot, and.
I noticed the switch to the two guard. You like that better than being the quarterback as the point guard?
Yeah, I do. It's two guard is more laid back. You don't have to run everything. You get a little break on the offense, so it's kind of nice to have that so you can focus on defense too.
Good decision by your coach. Speaking of decisions, we got to step aside for a minute, take a quick break, and we'll come back with more here on Seven River Sports.
LASIK surgery at Mayo Clinic Health System.
Well, I was very nearsighted. I couldn't see 3 feet in front of me without things being blurry, so I had to wear glasses.
We screen patients. We try to make sure that they're appropriate candidates for LASIK, that their prescription is within the range, that it's reasonable to do it, that they have a good understanding of what they can expect, that they have a good understanding of what the benefits are and what the risks are.
For more information on LASIK surgery, contact Mayo Clinic Health System.
At Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, we have assembled a championship team
who listens to what your needs are.
We install carrier comfort systems that improve the comfort, efficiency, and the air quality of your home and workplace.
We serve you with highly trained technicians who are prompt, friendly, and honest.
For Gold Star treatment, turn to the experts, Carrier and Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning.
Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, your comfort is our business.
Welcome back to Seven River Sports. Again, today, spotlight on Luther High School basketball. Head coach Brad Schaper, along with Ben Kennedy and Sam Babinec. Dick Bennett said a few years ago, I remember it profoundly, that he wants to coach a team. His ideal team is a team that maybe doesn't have a huge amount of success in terms of winning a conference championship, winning the gold ball, but a culture that the head coach, the assistants, the entire family, and the team enjoys the journey in spite of maybe not reaching all their goals. Does that describe this year for Luther?
Well, I'll tell you what, I love Dick Bennett. I heard him this past fall at the clinic, the WIA clinic, and I went up and I shook his hand and thanked him. We played his defense and his philosophy in high school, and we rode it to a third-place state championship, and that was a great time. There have been a lot of teams that I've had, some tons of wins, some not so many wins. This team has been one of my greatest joys in all of my coaching career, and I'll tell you, it's because they buy in, and explains exactly what you're saying. These guys come every night working super hard no matter what. We've lost 5 games in the final possession this year. That's unheard of. And yet these guys are itching to get back in the gym the very next day, to get better, to get to the next game. That's the kind of team that I love right there.
Do you know how unusual that is? Your statement you just made, I don't know how many times it can be replicated throughout the nation. Not many times. Because the mood, the toxicity of a team revolves around their wins and losses, and I see it all the time. I've experienced it as a player, coach, and as a fan. Well, we were there, courtside, when you picked up your 100th win. Emotional for you, a high point and defining moment in your career. It was equally special for me and the crew. Talk about that.
Well, it's a really neat honor, and I'm not going to put it down. It's a really cool thing. But in the same token, I didn't take a shot. I didn't make a pass. I didn't do anything. These guys and all of the players that I've had before, they're the ones that deserve that honor. And without those guys, we wouldn't be talking about this. And it was a neat, emotional night because of so many of my former teammates that were back. That was cool.
It was. Yeah. And you've had a lot of success, and I know you have 3 games remaining, 2 this week, and then you end up at Sparta next Monday. And of course, we will know on Sunday the pairings and the seeding for postseason. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, we've been scrambling to try and figure out what kind of seeds will fly, but CFC is so very good in our region. They haven't lost yet, as you know. And Partyville, a little farther north, they're going to be really good. But there's a group of teams that are right in the middle like Brookwood, Nacita, ourselves, Melman, and then you have Aquinas. You always have Aquinas that's right there. We're going to try and pull hard and try and get a 4 or 5 seed, and we really like our shot in the playoffs. We really like where we're going.
Well, you have a lot of talent, and 2 of your most talented people are sitting here on the set. Ben Kennedy, 18 points a game. I've watched you play since you were in the 3 years you've been on the varsity. I've watched you play football, watched you in the track and field, and you're a complete package. Knowing that your brothers were highly successful also, and they've been on the show, by the way. I'm sure you've seen them. Does that put pressure on you?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, it does quite a bit. But I almost like the challenge of trying to one-up them, I guess. And they're always putting a lot of pressure on me, telling me all the great things they did in high school. So it does put pressure on, but at the same time, you can turn that and use it as a positive to try to motivate yourself. And in doing that, you're going to make yourself a great player for your team. Speaking of pressure, of course, I think all of our viewers know the Kennedy name and know the Babinec name because we've had your father, the AD and girls basketball coach, and your sisters and brother on the show, and we know all the success of that family. How does that, is that a challenge for you to live up to that previous high-achieving family?
It is a challenge. I mean, having all 4 of your older siblings succeed in athletics is kind of hard to match. I mean, I know we're not in all the same sports in that, but basketball was all of our best sports, so it's kind of hard to match it, yeah.
You've had a great season. Watched you play, as we've talked about, and you're also scoring in double figures. Are you reaching the goals that you set for yourself?
I didn't really set many goals for myself. I mean, it's more about the team, the wins, getting farther in playoffs than we did last year, and just ultimate goal of state.
When you look back on your high school career, I mean, not that it's over yet because you have the spring season, you have the rest of basketball. Thoughts?
I mean, it was a great career, I guess. I mean, I thank all my coaches for all the help they given. I mean, not as successful as I'd like it to be in some of the earlier years, but it was a good one.
You have a few months left too, Ben, and then you graduate. And of course you have a young sister we've watched play, and so you'll be back watching her. Yeah. Thoughts on your career?
I definitely want to make my senior year the best one. Just as like Sam said, other years haven't been the best for success, so I want to finish it up with a really strong playoff run in basketball, and then hopefully maybe make a run for a state championship in track.
Let's take a journey quickly into the post-high school days, college, career.
I'm looking at attending Stout next year and probably going to get a chance to play basketball and run track there, get my business degree, and then eventually down the road probably end up back at the family business.
Yeah. Well, we know the family business, one of the sponsors of our broadcast. Of course, you might want to mention that.
Yep.
You're going to be the CEO of Lewiston Monument someday. Your brothers will
hopefully,
work for you then.
Yeah. Something.
And Sam, are you headed a little bit north too, toward Mankato and New Ulm, where your brother and sisters went?
Near there, Mankato State, yeah.
You don't want to go another 45 minutes north?
I don't think so, no. Be the only one not to, yeah.
How's that going to work out? I mean, did they all graduated from there, or your brother's still playing?
My brother's still there, yeah.
So that's where you went, in sports management?
Yep.
Well, good. So you have the talent, both of you, to play on Saturdays into the postseason and into the post-high school years. Thoughts on that? Going to play collegiately?
Hopefully. I mean, I haven't really looked into or talked to coaches at all, but hopefully I'll get to play either basketball or football in there.
Well, Coach, you've had so much success, and as a teacher and a coach, and of course family is a big part of who you are too. We had Aaron on the show, and you have a daughter too. Talk about the importance of family.
Oh, what great support. Aaron is doing great up at the University of Minnesota. He lives and breathes and dies with this team too. Every night it's a text message, how'd you do, what was the score, who played well. even though, you know, he's 3 years removed, he's still involved. My little daughter's at every game. She's high-fiving these guys in the locker room. She's loving every part of that. My wife is there all the time. My father, who's 85 years old, came down to make sure he's been at games. It's just a family atmosphere, and everybody loves following the game of basketball, and they love following this team.
The vision into the future of Luther High School basketball. Well, by the way, all the capital improvements on that campus, like, oh my gosh, beautiful. And of course, in the Bible it says where there is no vision, people perish. You have a vision. Your school has a vision for what you want to accomplish in the future.
Athletically and specifically to basketball, I'm excited about the future. Don't get me wrong, I'm going to miss these guys a ton, and I don't know how we're going to replace two guys like this. They're fantastic, but we really have a good, strong program from the C team up, and we're excited about what the future holds. We've got some interesting players that are coming in, and as you spoke about our facilities, they're just continuing to improve as well.
They certainly are. Rapid fire drill. Favorite TV show, Ben?
That 70s show.
That 70s show.
Yeah.
Favorite actress?
Mila Kunis.
Oh, really? What would favorite hobby? What do you do when you're not studying first and then competing in sports second?
In the summer, I like to go longboarding with my friends. So
longboarding.
Yeah.
Explain that to us.
So it's like skateboarding, but it's like a longer board, and I go down by Riverside and Lacrosse, and just it's a nice thing to do on a summer day.
You wear a helmet, I suppose?
Active. No. Drives my dad crazy.
Now you will from now on.
Yeah.
So when your parents see the show, they'll say, Ben, get a helmet.
Yeah.
What do you do on a rainy day there, Sam Babinec?
Netflix.
Netflix?
Yep.
Favorite Netflix?
Office.
The Office.
Yes.
Favorite Bible verse?
Bible verse? Probably 1 Corinthians 10:34.
Which says?
Whatever you do, do it all to the glory of God.
Yes. So that's you were part of the getting that on the wall, right? That's the family's favorite
Yeah.
Bible verse.
Yeah, probably the one we go by the most.
What do you want people to say? 2 words each. Years from now, when the name Sam Babinec comes up in a conversation, you're far removed. 2 words you want them to say about you during your years.
Hard work.
Ben Kennedy?
Fierce competitor.
Fierce competitor. Does that describe them, Coach?
To a T, both of them.
Good. You have the ability to get the most out of your team, and you're one of our favorites. And I've said that before, but just a hospitable culture when we go and broadcast a game there. It's pretty special, and you guys are all special, and that's why you're on the show. So we want to thank you for being on the show. Again, today our guests, Brad Schaper, Ben Kennedy, and Sam Babinec. Best of luck the rest of the season into the spring. And as Al McGuire would say, have a good life.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Appreciate us having.
You're welcome. All right. We'll be back with some film clips from basketball games this week, right after this.
LASIK surgery at Mayo Clinic Health System.
I can see. I don't have to wear my glasses for driving, to go to the movies, for reading.
And I think it's a wonderful thing to offer people that freedom and independence of lenses, whether they're contact lenses or glasses, to be able to function every day from the morning to the evening and not think about it.
For more information on LASIK surgery, contact Mayo Clinic Health System.
At Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, we have assembled a championship team
who listens to what your needs are.
We install carrier comfort systems that improve the comfort, efficiency, and the air quality of your home and workplace.
We serve you with highly trained technicians who are prompt, friendly, and honest.
For Gold Star treatment, turn to the experts, Carrier and Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning.
Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning. Your comfort is our business.
Welcome back to Seven Rivers Sports. Well, 2 exciting games in the Cooley region on Tuesday night, and our cameras are there to bring you all the action. Let's start at the D.B. Reinhardt Athletic Complex on the campus of Aquinas High School. Dwayne Veek and the Holman Vikings versus Dave Donarski and the Lady Blue Goals. Well, teams exchanged leads throughout the first half, with Aquinas taking a slim 4-point lead into halftime. The game even got tighter in the second half as the Vikings played with purpose, energy, and enthusiasm. Well, it came down to the closing minutes with both teams experiencing crucial turnovers, with the score tied at 45 and 13 seconds on the clock. The Blue Goals had the ball, looking for a last-second shot. Whitney Raisin opened in the corner, so she let fly a three-point shot that went through the net as time expired, and the Blue Goals win 48-45. A valiant effort by Holman, led by Courtney Krasnovich with 13, Brooklyn Paulson and Kendra Lease with 12. Aquinas wins the MVC title outright, third year in a row, and moves to 20-0 on the season. The Blue Goals were led by Alexi Donarski with 12 and Modessa Collins with 10. Holman 13-8 and 6-5 in the MVC. WIA postseason begins on the girls' side for all teams in the state of Wisconsin on Tuesday. Our other crew was at Holman for the boys' matchup. Brad Reinhardt and the Aquinas boys versus Steve Blank and the Holman Vikings. Holman had been struggling but seemed to find some renewed energy on Tuesday night, racing to a 34-22 halftime lead. Aquinas came out of intermission playing much better behind the play of guards Conley Malone and senior Eddie Harwick. Malone finished with 23 and Harwick with 12. But the Blue Goals had no match for the inside play of senior Austin Braun, a defining moment in his senior basketball season, scoring 29 points and recording 15 rebounds. Seth Wilson knocked in 10, and guard Jimmy Gillespie from the outside also contributing 10. Final score, Holman 71 and Aquinas 58. Holman moves to 6-13 on the year, and Aquinas at 6-14. Well, I hope you enjoyed this week's show. I'm your host, Terry Erickson, hoping you will have an active and a healthy week ahead. So long from all of us here at 7 Rivers